We'll call to order the Douglasville City Council Legislative Work Session for tonight, which is Thursday, February the 26th, 2026. Our invocation will be done by Bishop Jerome Quinn of Ephraim International Community Church. After the invocation, we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance, which will be led by the Mayor Pro Tem, City Councilmember Terry Miller. Please stand for the invocation, and we offer Bishop to come forward. Pray for us, please.
Let us all pray. Lord, we ask for your presence to settle upon this council on today. Lord, we thank you for grant the mayor and the leaders the vision to see how our lives connection can change our community. Help us to listen with patience and respect for our differences, working together to make Douglasville a better place. Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which we stand, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much, Mayor Pro Tem, for leading us in the pledge, and Bishop Quinn, we appreciate the invocation. My name is Rochelle Robinson. I'd like to welcome you to the Douglasville City Council. I'm Mayor of the City of Douglasville. This is a work session where agenda items will be presented for discussion only, and no official action will be taken on these items this evening, but official action will be taken on the items discussed tonight, next Monday at our 6 p.m. voting meeting. If the business you're here for is not listed as an agenda item, there will be ample time under the agenda item, comments from citizens and delegates for you to discuss your business. I'll go over a few protocol items I need to make you aware of, and then we'll start the meeting. I ask that you please listen closely so there will be no misunderstandings on how we will conduct business this evening. I ask that you please keep your comments and presentations on a professional level, dealing with the facts that are important for this governing body to make our decisions. We will not accept comments that are considered by the chair to be of a personal attack on any individual or group of individuals. You will receive a warning from the chair. If you deviate from that warning or requirement, a second deviation will result in a request for us asking you to leave the chambers. Only one person speaking at a time. Please do not applaud or react to speakers. Speak from the audience, cheer, or carry on a conversation when you're at the podium. When you come to the podium, please direct all of your comments and concerns to myself or the committee chair. If I remind you that we're only required to accept public comments during the required public hearings, we are not required to accept public comments on other items before the council outside of the public hearing time. Please address your comments again to the chair. Do not repeat information that someone else may bring forward. Our policy requires that printed materials used for review to be submitted in advance to our city clerk, and she will get that information, put it into our work packet, make copies, and disseminate it to myself and council members. During the comments from citizens and delegates period, we will not address zoning items that were discussed during the public hearings for each zoning application. The time to address those comments, we're doing the citizen comment section from the public hearings, but we will not allow those comments outside of public hearings via the Georgia State Zoning Procedures Act. Now, I will go over how the meeting will run. It'll be each committee chairperson will bring that committee information forward, and then you can present your information at that time. If you have a cell phone or electronic device, we ask that you please put those in silent mode so they will not be disruptive. Now, this is how the agenda items will be handled. The committee chairperson will read his or her agenda item, then that person representing that agenda item or applicant will make his or her presentation. At that time, you bring that information forward. Myself and council members will possibly ask clarifying questions to help us make our decision next week. After that, the committee chairperson, if it's a public hearing, will ask for comments from the audience. You have 20 minutes for those in favor, 20 minutes for those in opposition, and each person has 5 minutes to speak. When you come to the podium, give us your name and address for the record, and our clerk or assistant city clerk in this instance, Ms. Candace James, will take your information. You hand your card or the paper. You have to fill out this paper that's outside. You put all your information on the paper. You come forward, hand the card to Ms. Candace James. She will put your information into the record. You come to the podium and say, "My name is so-and-so," and you give your name and address, and then you have an opportunity to speak. This is not a question and answer or debate format going back and forth. We'll try to get you the information that you need after you state your name and address. And if we need to come back to you at another time to give you the information, that's what we'll do. So hopefully we're all on the same page for how the meeting will be conducted this evening. We do have agendas outside if you like a paper agenda, but if not, you can follow us on the screen that is here above my head. So now we'll move on with the agenda as it is presented. We've done the announcements. Now we're at number 5, which we go through each committee. Economic Development Committee, that's chaired by Mayor Pro Tem City Councilmember Terry Miller.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no business under the Economic Development Committee at this time.
Thank you so much, Mayor Pro Tem. The Finance Committee, chaired by Councilmember Chris Watts.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
You're welcome.
We have 4 items tonight.
Yes, sir.
Item A, fiscal year 2025 audit presentation by Malden and Jenkins, and Mr. Ryan Jones will present to us tonight. Thank you, Mr. Jones. Come on forward. And for the record, just give us your name and address and then proceed.
Sure. Thank you for having me. My name is Ryan Jones. I'm a partner with Malden and Jenkins. My address is 36 Mariner Way in Ackworth, Georgia. And I'm here this evening to present the results of the fiscal 25 audit. This audit was completed in the fall of last year. Our audit report date was December 24th, and the final financial statements, audited financial statements, were submitted to management prior to the December 31st deadline. Is somebody controlling the slides? I'm sorry. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, I want to move to page 3 here and just go ahead and start talking about our audit opinion. I do want to remind everybody about our responsibility as auditors for the audit of the financial statements. So we are required under auditing standards to design procedures and then report on those procedures as we have completed them. We do consider the city's internal control structure for the purpose of designing our audit procedures and assessing whether there might be control deficiencies that exist, but we do not issue an opinion on the effectiveness of internal control. We do perform our audit under the relevant auditing standards, which are generally accepted auditing standards and government auditing standards. And I do want to point out that the financial statements are the responsibility of management, even though as an extra service to the city, we do assist with that preparation process. Our report on the basic financial statements for the fiscal year ended June 30th, 2025, we issued an unmodified or clean audit opinion. That's the highest level of assurance that a CPA firm can give on a set of financial statements. And it just means that those financial statements present fairly the balances and results of operations for that year based on our procedures. So getting into the financial statements and footnotes, along with the financial statements, we are required to issue 2 reports. One is a compliance report under government auditing standards, and the second is a single audit report required by the federal uniform guidance. In the compliance report, the Yellow Book report, had we encountered any internal control deficiencies, we would have reported them there. We also would have reported any compliance matters that we identified during our procedures. And I'm happy to report that we did not end up documenting any audit findings for fiscal year 2025, so no internal control deficiencies that we identified or non-compliance with laws or regulations. The second report, the uniform guidance report or the single audit report, it's based on the results of our testing of the city's federal expenditures and the compliance with the requirements of those grants. We did test the ARPA fund, for which the city expended about $4.4 million during fiscal '25, and our opinion on those procedures and the schedule of expenditures of federal awards is an unmodified or clean opinion, and we also had no audit findings that arose out of our federal compliance testing. The next several pages include all of the required communications that auditing standards require us to communicate to governance. I'm not going to go through all of these. I do want to highlight, as a significant accounting policy change during fiscal year '25, the city implemented GASB 101 for compensated absences, and it really just changed the underlying accounting for how that liability should be derived. And there was a restatement of $1.6 million to retroactively apply that accounting standard to the prior year. So while you see a restatement in your financial statements, it's not a correction of an error or anything negative. That's just what's required by the auditing standards. I also want to point out, under the management's judgments and accounting estimates section, you have some pretty significant estimates in your financial statements. Most notably the pension liability, which is approximately $9.7 million, and the OPEB liability, which is a little bit higher at $12.8 million. Those estimates are driven by actuarial assumptions that are subject to change. I want to thank management. We have a good relationship with management, and management worked diligently to help us complete our procedures in a relatively small window from about October to December in order for us to issue our audit opinion and get the financial statements to the authorities and to the state by the December 31st deadline. And I'm going to move into some financial trends. So the general fund is the primary operating fund of the city. Just want to give a couple of highlights about the revenues for fiscal '25. As you can see, property taxes and sales taxes comprise more than half of all of the revenues recognized in the general fund. And that's similar to last year and also similar to other cities in Georgia. Total general fund revenues for fiscal year '25 were $54.3 million compared to $49.3 million in fiscal '24, for about a 10% increase. Then final audited general fund expenditures for fiscal '25 totaled $53.2 million, of which general government expenditures and public safety expenditures represent the largest categories of spending by the city, and that is consistent with other cities and also consistent with last year. $53.2 million of expenditures in '25 compared to fiscal '24 audited general fund expenditures of 43.5 is good for about a 23% increase in expenditures year over year. General fund revenues, expenditures, and transfers, basically all of the activity that you see in essentially the income statement for the general fund. You arrive at a change in net position, meaning the residual amounts of revenues in excess of expenditures and transfers. For fiscal year '25, that amount was $2.3 million compared to the prior year amount of $5.4 million. And that's just shown a little bit differently on this next page 11. Kind of tracks that change over the last 6 years. Notice that each year is positive. So for the past 6 years, you have had more revenues or transfers, or revenues and transfers than expenditures and transfers out. And this last page here is really meant to just show the relationship between the expenditure trend and the fund balance trend. Again, fund balance is that residual equity that's left over from accumulated revenues in excess of expenditures. You can see that those two lines track nicely together, meaning that the city's doing a great job about recovering the increases in costs from additional revenues and maintaining that equity cushion. GFOA recommends that in the general fund, unassigned fund balance, 3 months is a pretty good measure of having some reserves for uncertain economic events, things like that. When you do the math for the city of Douglasville, at June 30th, 2025, there there were over 7 months of expenditures in fund balance, meaning that the city has a solid amount of reserves there for uncertainties. And we did not have any recommendations for improvement, so this would be apart from formal audit findings. The city does a really great job at keeping up with the accounting and keeping the books clean. And there are a couple of new accounting standards on the horizon, most notably GASB 103, which is going to impact the management's discussion and analysis and potentially impact the city's sanitation fund and how the revenues are classified on the income statement, but it's not changing any of the underlying accounting. And so we look forward to working with the city on getting those standards implemented, and we look forward to a successful fiscal year 26 audit as well. And that's really all I had to go over. There's some more information in this document about some things on the horizon that the Governmental Accounting Standards Board is considering. Nothing quite set in stone yet, but if you're interested, that information is available in this document. So I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Jones, for your presentation tonight. Any questions or comments from council? No? All right, you covered it good. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations on a good audit.
I would like to place this on the consent agenda if it's appropriate or no.
There's nothing. There's no vote.
Okay, that's right. That's right. All right, let's move on to B, adopt an ordinance to amend the City of Douglasville's fiscal year 2025-2026 general fund budget. Melissa Williams.
Okay.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and Council. Melissa Williams, Finance Director, 6758 Spring Street. Tonight, we are discussing the second quarter general fund budget amendment for fiscal year 2026. This amendment reflects mid-year adjustments based on actual revenues received and updated expenditure needs, including items such as project studies, surveys, and rising healthcare premiums. After these adjustments, the contingency line will increase by $468,674, strengthening our financial position for the remainder of the fiscal year. Some of the larger revenue items to note is the Zion interest revenue line is increasing by $62,000 based on actual interest earnings received year to date. The Police Department vehicle accident reimbursement line is increasing by $30,000, reflecting reimbursements received to date. Building permit revenues are increasing by $149,000 due to additional funds received from ongoing development projects within the city. On the expenditure side, we are decreasing engineering's machine equipment computer line by $74,000 due to foregoing certain computer software purchases. The non-departmental employee benefits bonus line reflects $637,000 being moved to appropriate departments. You can see the detailed breakdown of those allocations on the last page of your attachment. Police administration, other professional services is increasing by $20,000 for the Youth Against Violence Holloway Scholarship. Park maintenance part-time employees is increasing by $45,000 to support additional staffing needs for park upkeep. West Pines operations property site improvements is increasing by $80,000 for the golf cart bridge replacement and maintenance of the green. This increase is being offset by reducing West Pines maintenance part-time employees by $30,000 and reducing their chemicals and fertilizer by $70,000. Community development, other professional services is decreasing by $200,000 as the housing study was completed under budget. As mentioned earlier, the contingency line is increasing by approximately $468,000 after all of these adjustments. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. Any questions or comments on this item? Council? Okay. Thank you, and place this item on the consent agenda if that's okay with everybody. Thank you. Item C, adopt a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute and deliver a development agreement with Norhaven Partners LLC or its affiliates for the purposes of allocating tax allocation district number 1 downtown and New Horizon funds for certain public infrastructure improvements and other utility improvements to support the Town Green Phase 2 development, repealing conflicting resolutions, and for other purposes. And Ms. Callen is at the podium. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Karen Callen, 6758 Spring Street, Assistant City Manager and Chief Financial Officer. And I will go briefly over the memo that you have attached to your agenda item, and then Mr. Norris with Norhaven LLC will present a brief presentation to you all. But briefly going over the summary, this is requesting for you to authorize the mayor to enter into an agreement with Norhaven Partners LLC. This is for what we're calling Town Green Phase 2 project. This amount is not to exceed $1.5 million, and this is coming from our tax allocation district funds. And as you can see in the memo, Norhaven intends to develop the project to include 257 apartment units and 8,000 square feet of retail. On January 28th, 2026, the TAD Advisory Committee approved recommending the agreement to the City Council. The $1.5 million payout represents 2.3% of the project's overall budget of approximately $66.2 million. Approval is requested to authorize the mayor to enter into an agreement with Norhaven Partners LLC. And if you have any questions on the agreement, I'll be happy to answer those. And Carlos, our attorney, is on the way, but I don't see him yet. So if you have any questions if you don't have any questions on the agreement, then I'll turn it over to William Norris. No? Okay, great, thank you. You are, sir.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and council members. We've got a copy of the presentation that I gave to the TAD committee back on January 28th as referenced by Karen. So I'd like to take you through a couple of slides. There are a couple of updates on the project. I am going to skip over a couple of the initial slides that just deal with the project location. I believe council and Madam Mayor, y'all are all aware of the project. So
We're so excited. We're so excited.
I'm excited too. This is
Yes.
The presentation in front of you does include some of the images that we presented to the TAD committee related to what was what occupied this site previously with the Douglas County Jail. And then the beautiful park was excited when Google Earth updated with the wonderful park that is now in the aerial images. Moving ahead, want to share a couple of photos of our project renderings. So the photos that are on the screen now include our pool amenity and basically our outdoor lawn amenity that will sit next to the basically main club room and co-working space. The image on the screen now, one of the first full page renderings, is the conceptual and actually the finished presentation rendering for our leasing office. This will actually be the space that will sit there fronting Club Drive, right across from the temporary offices now for the city. The next image is an image of our fitness room. The following image, which I'll pause on briefly, this is our club room. We are building out a 2-story space for the club room. Excited for kind of the feel that this will create for our residents. The upper portion of this space is actually co-working space for use by the folks in the community. And then downstairs we'll have a outdoor porch space where you can see kind of a ping pong table on the outdoor. The two-story space, basically this is opposite from where the staircase image is of the larger club room. And then finally, the last image is our Sky Lounge space and the indoor portion of the Sky Lounge space. The next images include a floor plan of the retail. So the retail will actually sit up towards Church Street. And we've got basically 7 spaces outlined in the plan. Now, the spaces on the right side of the plan, where you see the 4 kind of rectangular shaped boxes, we're building in flexibility where if we get a tenant that would like to have twice the amount of the space or all 3 or all 4, we can accommodate that. What I'm excited about are the 2 jewel box elements here, approximately 450 square feet each. Those are really meant to be for like a coffee or an ice cream type of vendor, and we were very intentional with that. One of the things that's happened as tenant build out and development has gotten more expensive, a lot of vendors are priced out of spaces, and so these 2 spaces will allow for a much more affordable arrangement for the businesses to operate. So we're excited about the spaces that we're creating. And then the space on the far left is really meant to be the primary F&B space, which would accommodate basically a lunch, dinner type of restaurant. Any questions so far on the program?
Yes, sir. Is it open to the residents or just entire public for the retail open
Entire
space?
public.
Okay,
Oh,
perfect.
yeah, entire public. And in fact, I mean, that's really, on the next image, you'll see our conceptual 3D rendering. And Madam Mayor, we were trying to create a space that's going to create a memorable kind of iconic form for the city. And what was important when we were doing the layouts was basically to create lots of shade. So during July, August, September, when it's 90 degrees still at 8 o'clock, you have some space to be in outdoors. So.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Within the presentation is the project schedule. Really, the piece that I want to walk you through briefly is the TAD scope schedule. So everything that we've included, I'm going to walk you through the itemized request for the $1.5 million that Karen mentioned when she made her introduction, is really to it will apply to site work and utility-related costs, what I commonly refer to as civil construction costs. So the first thing that you will see when we begin construction is we've got to do a storm and a sanitary sewer relocation. I've got a graphic in this presentation that I'll walk you through on what that component is, but that's basically step 1 in order to set up our ability to then put in all of our sanitary sewer, our site mass grading, sanitary sewer install, water install, and then ultimately the underground detention, and then wrap up our general site work so you'll start to see some buildings coming up. The project budget, I'm going to skip over for the benefit of walking you through the costs associated with the $1.5 million request. So again, the costs included are the stormwater relocation, the sanitary line relocation, the sanitary sewer install, water install, and underground detention. What's included in here is a quote from East Coast Grading, which is the site work subcontractor that our general contractor, McShane Construction, has identified to basically do all of the TAD scope work. Backing up one slide, the relocation, basically there's an existing sanitary sewer line and an existing storm water line that runs underneath our building 1000. And so on your presentation packet, I'm assuming y'all have, this is the
Yes, sir.
diagram that I've got up. And so that cost that's included is basically we've got to install a new storm line and a new sanitary sewer line to basically reroute what is already in place. Any questions on the TAD request and what we've presented today?
Okay.
Any questions, council?
Lantor. Did a
So-
great job.
So there wasn't somebody else coming to add on.
I think
Carlos
may. Yep, here's Carlos.
Come on down, you came a long way, so you might as well.
Thank you.
Give us your name and address for the record, if you don't mind.
Carlos Encinas, I'm with Encinas Law LLC. Good to see everyone, Mayor, council
see you.
members, good to see you all. So I'm just here to provide a very high-level overview of the development agreement that you are being asked to vote on today. First and foremost, the city is indemnified by the developer to the fullest extent of the law under this agreement. If there's any material modification from the plans as presented to the city of over 15% of the project cost, and it represents more than 15% of the project cost, then they must return to the city for approval of that of what we would consider a material modification. If there's more than 1 year of cumulative delays in building the project, the city has the right to terminate the agreement. And the agreement itself is being recorded in the land records. So these covenants that the developer has made with regard to the project and repayment of the project are covenants that run with the land, and the whole world, including all lenders, get notice of these covenants, which are all important protections for the city. Then next, I just wanted to briefly touch on the financial obligations for the city under this agreement. They are limited special obligations. The total reimbursement is not to exceed $1.5 million, which is payable in up to 3 installments, each of no more than $500,000, and this will go toward TAD eligible reimbursement costs. All payments are payable solely from the city's TAD fund, not the city's general fund or any other fund of the city. And the city's professional, legal, and any administrative fees are payable first from that TAD fund. And all of the city's obligations terminate within 5 years of the effective date of the agreement. So there's many different ways that the city has limited its liabilities or obligations under this agreement as appropriate. And then one last thing is that prior to the city making any disbursement under the agreement, the developer has agreed to issue a surety bond in favor of the city in the amount of $750,000. So that will help secure the city's investment in the project if for any reason the project is not completed. Any questions on the development agreement?
Anyone? All right. Thank you. Thank you for all of that, and we'll take this up on Monday. Okay.
Coach, I did have a quick
Yes, ma'am.
question. I know for North Haven, I apologize. I know this is about TAD primarily, really this was about the TAD, but you did show us schematic renderings and everything that get us all excited. Parking, I didn't see anything in here about parking, or is that just a whole nother phase for those 257 spaces?
So the retail component, let me go back to,
24, or,
is there a way to put my presentation by any chance back up on the?
And I think it's in the cover memo, Mayor, where it lists the amount of parking that's going to be a component of the project.
is it 24 with the underground stuff,
Let me pull it up.
So
or in the agreement?
I don't know if I've got a full
Oh, it is not
site
depicted.
plan.
Parking lot is depicted.
So I do not have a full site plan in the presentation. So we are providing approximately 65 parking spaces dedicated just for this retail.
Yes,
And they
sir.
will sit behind the retail building. In
Yes, sir.
addition, the fire lane that
Okay, yes, we talked about.
showed up. So I was able to work with HRC. We were able to meet with representatives of the fire marshal.
Yes, sir.
And it was not the fire chief, but it was a representative of the fire department. And basically what we're going to do as a part of our construction costs, we worked out a reconfiguration of the drive in the area where it is now striped for fire parking to basically make that the drive lane.
Okay.
And then we're going to flip the parking spaces that were there basically to the other
To the
side.
side. Okay.
And so we're doing that as a part to basically restore those spaces that unfortunately had to be removed because of the setback for where the fire apparatus has to sit if there is an emergency in your kind of the kitchen tower for the
amphitheater.
For the
part.
amphitheater.
Yeah, and I apologize. I was really excited looking at this, and I was like, where are they going to park? We already have people talking about parking when they come to the, Wednesday wind down or to our concerts.
Sure.
And such, so. But thank you so much. I apologize for bringing that up. Mr.
No, you
Dodson
don't
told
have
me
to
it's not in
apologize,
this,
Madam Mayor.
but thank you.
Councilman
Thank you,
Davis.
Mr. Chairman.
Councilwoman, thank you, sir. How would this be separated from the graveyard? Would there be hedges or?
Councilman Davis, yes. One of the things that came up in our TAD meeting, this was one of the items that we discussed. I've agreed to work with Dana in planning to basically look at putting a physical barrier between the parking lot and the cemetery. So, because the parking will sit between the park and the cemetery.
Okay, another thing that we discussed in our meeting, our gated community. Will this community be gated off?
So for our residential parking, we are putting a vehicle gate, but we are not planning to do a perimeter fence around the residential. The vehicle gate is simply, it's more because of some of the events that Madam Mayor referenced that will occur at the park. It's just making sure that people don't park where our residents are meant to park.
Exactly. Come home and nowhere to park.
Exactly.
That's a hard feeling. That's a long day.
Yeah.
Okay. We gotta get that parking deck built.
Yeah.
Help us out.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, thank you, Councilman. Anybody else? Anybody else? Mr. Norris, thank you for the presentation
Thank
tonight. And we'll take this up on Monday.
Great,
Looking
thank
forward
you.
to it. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. We have one other item. Item D, authorize the mayor to sign change order number 1 with Triscapes LLC in the amount of $153,397.60. We couldn't round that one up or down for the addition of a boardwalk to the walking trail as part of the Fowler Field Improvement Project to be funded from SPLOST 2022, and Ms. Mann will handle this.
Alicia Mann, Senior Program Administrator, 6695 Church Street. So what you have before you is a change order for the Fowler Field Park Improvements Project. Previously, when we brought the agreement to you in September of 2025, there was discussion about if we could add or find a way to mitigate some of the flooding that happens on the side of the creek. So we teamed up with GMC as well as had discussions with WSA to see if we can add an additional boardwalk. We were permitted to add an additional boardwalk, and that'll be in this blue kind of cloud area where you'll see. So the red is where you already will have your boardwalk, and the blue is your additional boardwalk. And this is just to help keep the track operable when there's a flood event or a rain event that just floods over the track. And I can answer any questions.
Thank you. Madam Mayor?
I do have a question, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Mann, so with the additional boardwalk, are you saying it will not be flooded when we have in Fowler Field? Because we know what's in the floodplain. It will not be flooded, or will, or this is why are we doing it now?
Just to, and there's a lot of flooding that happens on that side, just to make sure it's still operable. So the boardwalk, the top of the boardwalk will be approximately 3 feet above the grade level, the ground level. So it'll still be able to walk over the water.
Okay. It's going to be like a little bridge or a lift?
A little bridge.
A little bridge, okay. Thank you, Mr.
But
Chairman.
Ms. Mann assured me that it would be wheelchair accessible also, even though it's going to be elevated 3 feet. Any other questions or comments? All right. Fowler Field is getting there. And how long, did you already cover that?
No, I did not. So it'll approximately take 7 months for the project to be completed.
So Fowler Field will be out of commission for 6 or 7 months while this work's being done.
Ooh-wee.
Yeah.
We're going to let people know. And when does it start?
So they've already closed down the park and put out their BMPs, so there's silt fences and fencing around the park. So, and it is also posted on our social media accounts that the park is closed.
Okay.
So parks will be ready. I'm sure they got the plan already in place to handle it. Thank you, Ms. Mann. No other questions? All right, we'll place that one on consent agenda if that's okay with everyone. And that's all I had tonight under finance, Madam Mayor.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to staff, and we appreciate the attorneys and North Haven Development coming before us as well in that committee. We'll move on then to housing, item 7, Housing and Community Affairs Committee. That's chaired by Councilmember Elena Hudson.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no business under the Housing and Community Affairs Committee this evening.
Thank you, ma'am. Legislative and Intergovernmental Committee, chaired by Councilmember Mayor Pro Tem Terry Miller.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no business under the Legislative and Intergovernmental Committee at this time.
Thank you, sir. Item 9, Personnel and Organization Committee, chaired by Councilmember Howard Estes.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have one item tonight.
Yes, sir.
Item number 26-067, adopt an ordinance to create a new Section 2-54 of the Code of Ordinances for the City of Douglasville to provide for the hire and separation dates for elected officials. And we will have Ms. Frazier and/or Ms. Jordan go through this with us.
Okay.
And I'll just make one quick comment and turn it over to Ms. Jordan. The purpose of this ordinance change is to allow for consistent dates of hire for retirement purposes for elected officials. This hasn't been consistent throughout the years. Propose that we make that date consistent for everyone through this ordinance.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, members of council, Mr. Chairman. Miranda Jordan, staff attorney, 6758 Spring Street. I actually have nothing to add to what Ms. Frazier said, but I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, so this really is just tightening up our ordinance to make it.
Correct. In the past, sometimes a hire date has been the first of the year. Sometimes it's been when an elected official is sworn in. We're making it when an elected official is sworn in.
Okay. Any questions or comments from council or Madam Mayor?
No, sir.
Okay, seeing none. I would like to request that this be put on the consent agenda for Monday.
Looks like it don't.
Okay, and then, Madam Mayor, that is all we have for the Personnel and Organization Committee this evening. Thank
you
you.
so much. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to our city manager and staff attorney. We'll move on then to item 10, Planning and Development Committee, chaired by Councilmember Nicole Miller.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
You're welcome.
We have no business this evening for planning and development.
I can't believe it. Okay. We'll move on then to the next item. I know what happened. No. Public Improvement and Beautification Committee, chaired by Councilmember Nicole Miller.
Yes, ma'am, we do have one item this evening. That is to appoint Ms. Raquel Walker to the Keep Douglasville Beautiful Board, Post 7, to serve a 3-year term expiring December 31st of 2028. Ms. Jackson, can you go over this with us, please?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Chelsea Jackson, 6758 Spring Street. As Councilwoman Miller said, this is to appoint Ms. Raquel Walker to the KDB Board for Post 7 for a 3-year term expiring December 31st, 2028. Myself and staff alongside Councilwoman Miller did interview 2 individuals earlier this week, Ms. Walker and another individual. That staff, as well as Councilwoman Miller, did make a recommendation to come to you all with the recommendation of Ms. Raquel Walker to serve on this board. Of course, since it was 2 individuals, we will ensure we do have other board seats that are available across our 13 boards that we have at the city. So we will reach out to that other individual to see if they're willing to serve in another capacity.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson. Yes, as she said, we did interview Ms. Walker earlier this week. She is excited to serve on this board, and we all agree that she would make a wonderful asset to the board. Any questions? Okay. Are you guys okay with placing this on the consent agenda?
Okay,
Thank you
sounds
so
good.
much. Thank you, Ms. Jackson. Madam Mayor, that is all that we have this evening for public improvement and beautification.
Perfect. Thank you so much, and thank you to our Deputy City Manager as well, along with the chairperson. We'll move on then to Public Relations Committee, chaired by Councilmember Samuel Davis.
At this time, Madam Mayor, no business. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Councilman Davis. Public Safety Committee, chaired by Councilmember Howard Estes.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The Public Safety Committee has no business this evening.
Thank you, sir. Recreation, Culture, and Tourism Committee, chaired by Councilmember Chris Watts.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have 2 items tonight.
Yes, sir.
Both of them will be handled by Ms. Jackson. Reappoint, item A, reappoint Tamika Milton Brown, Post 3, and Patty Winsick, Post 4, to serve on the Douglasville Convention and Conference Center Authority to a term expiring June 1st, 2029. Ms. Jackson.
Yes, thank you, Councilman Watts. Good afternoon again, Mayor and Council. Chelsea Jackson, 6758 Spring Street. These 2 individuals, Ms. Brown and Ms. Wink, would like to be reappointed to the Convention and Conference Center Authority. They currently serve on that board and would like to be reappointed for a term expiring June 1st of 2029.
So both are reappointments, right?
Yes, sir.
Both said, okay. Any questions, comments?
We appreciate people volunteering to serve.
Definitely. All right. And then the next item is a reappoint Willa Crook to serve as a Post 6 member of the Douglasville Convention and Conference Center Authority for a term expiring June 1st, 2030.
So, yes, sir. Thank you, Councilman Watts. So, much like the previous item, Ms. Crook is actually the chair of the authority, and her term is to serve until June 1st, 2030, and she will be a reappointment as well.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson. Any comments or questions? All right. Well, with that being said, I'd like to place both of these items on the consent agenda for Monday. Thank you, Ms. Jackson.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Madam Mayor, that's all I had tonight under Recreation, Culture, and Tourism.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you, Councilmember Watts, and our Deputy City Manager. We'll move on then to the next committee. I'll ask the Vice Chairman, Councilman Estes, to take the Technology Committee.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no business for the Technology Committee this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chairman. Last committee, Transportation Committee, chaired by Councilmember Elena Hudson.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have 2 items under the Transportation Committee. Item A, 26014, is adopt an ordinance establishing the Personal Transportation Vehicle Ordinance, and Ms. Alicia Mann is going to walk us through this.
Alicia Mann, Senior Program Administrator, 6695 Church Street. So what you have before you is the ordinance for the personal transportation vehicle ordinance. Just to go over the rules, there's no standing or hanging on the PTVs, no standing on the driver's lap or sitting on the driver's lap or passenger's lap, so everyone has to have their own seat. Seat belts are required. They must also obey all traffic laws. They apply if you're driving a PTV. They are not allowed on sidewalks or front yards. They're only operable on city streets that are regulated by the city that are 25 miles per hour, and they've also been verified by a traffic engineer. Some of the required equipment are your braking system, the reverse warning device, a main power switch, headlamps, reflectors, tail lamps, horn, a rear view mirror, restraints, seat belts, and handholds, windshields, and turn signals. Registration will be through our permitting software, BSNA. It is a $15 registration fee, and the decal must be visible on your left rear side of your PTV. The PowerPoint says it's valid for 3 years, but your ordinance definitely says it's valid for 5 years, 5 calendar years. There's proof of liability insurance that is required, and re-registration once ownership of the PTV is transferred is required. And they must undergo an inspection process before they can receive their registration. Operator requirements, so they must have a valid driver's license. It cannot be expired. They must comply with liability insurance requirements. They must follow lane rules, so they have to use a full lane themselves. They cannot be side by side with another one, nor share the lane with a car. Parking, they can park anywhere that the vehicle is allowed to park. This is your map of your PTV routes. That'll be mostly in your downtown area. Penalties, the first offense will be a $75 fine, and within the first year of the first offense, if they have their second offense, is a $150 fine. From that, a year from that, if they do commit again and they get a third offense, it's $250 fine, and they will have their registration revoked by the Community Development Department. Registration may be revoked with no valid license or noncompliance. And I can answer any questions.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Oh my gosh, thank you, Ms. Mann, for your presentation. Until it's been a long day. Council, do you have any questions, Madam Mayor?
No.
Yes, Councilman Estes.
It's not a question. It just strikes me that this particular situation could be a great case study in how something goes from conception to ordinance passage. I mean, this has been, engaging multiple departments in the city, the PD. We've gone back and forth. You all have researched with other cities. I mean, this covers everything that we do in this one ordinance. So thank you. It's taken a long time, but it's very well done and appreciated.
Thank you. Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. The conversation that we were having earlier was just that, about how many departments it's touched and the group effort that it's taken to get this project into fruition, as well as like all the different levels of collaboration and discussing and reviewing other communities. So I couldn't be more excited for and then proud of the staff for, bringing this to life. So thank you for that. Any other questions this evening?
Not a question, Madam Chairman,
Yes,
but
ma'am.
just a comment that was made during committees that once this beta test study is done, then we can look in other wards like Ward 5 or Ward 3 to see how we can have connectivity, because we want to expand the opportunity for our citizens, whether it's walking, bike, pedestrian, cars, and now personal vehicles like golf carts. So thank you.
Absolutely, Madam Mayor. Thank you for touching on that as well. All right, well, if it's okay with you all, I'd like to place this on the consent agenda for Monday. Okay, thank you. One more item, item B 26015, adopt a resolution establishing approved personal transportation vehicle streets. Ms. Mann?
Alicia Mann, Senior Program Administrator, 6695 Church Street. This resolution is just a list of your approved streets for PTV use. It'll be your downtown network, such as Club Drive, Selman, Church, the whole connectivity. If you do later down the road want to add more streets, that'll also be a separate resolution.
Thank you. And I know just through this process, just to give the public a little backstory, we've have to go through the state to get these streets approved, and these streets have to be the 25 mile and under speed limit. That's correct?
Yes, if it is not 25 miles per hour, we have to go through the state to get it approved to be lowered to 25 miles per hour.
To be lowered. So all those conditions are consistent across the board. I know we had some dialogue and discussion along the way, and ended up making sure that everyone was safely included in this map as we see fit with respect to public safety. So I think that staff, again, did an excellent job identifying these locations on the map. So, Council, Madam Mayor, do you have any questions about this item? Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Madam Chair. Not a question, but again, a comment. Thanking staff, as you have said, to echo the thanks in as well, to make certain for Public Works and the PD about signage, so that folks will see, there's a golf cart. This is a community for PTVs to drive in, to share the space, not just cars and pedestrians and bikes. But so I did want to, when we were talking about bike and pedestrian, is this inclusive of our bike and pedestrian study that's been done as well? Is this all going to marry together like a big puzzle?
So PTV specifically was not in your bike and pedestrian plan, but as far as like the sidewalks and connectivity, that is in your bike and pedestrian plan. We are updating our comprehensive transportation plan that will address golf carts as well as connectivity in other wards as well.
Yes, because I don't know initially if when we did bike and ped, if we considered PTVs.
No, ma'am, not at that time.
So we would have to update our plan with this as well, correct, City Manager?
I think what Ms. Mann is mentioning, because PTVs are specifically allowed on your streets, it'll go in the comprehensive transportation plan versus bike and ped.
Bike and pedestrian.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
it's not concluded, it's not considered the same thing, because PTVs are actually on the road and bike and pedestrians are an accessory. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Great
That's all I
question.
had, Madam Chairman.
Any other comments from council? I know we've had a lot of these conversations. I'm really excited that we can finally put a bow on this. All right, if it's all right with you all, I'd like to place this on the consent agenda for Monday. Okay, looks good to me. Madam Mayor, that's all we have. Thank you, Ms. Mann. That's all we have for Transportation Committee.
Thank you so much, Madam Chairman, and thank you, Ms. Mann. You've done such an excellent job presenting to us, and a lot of hard work has gone into this. So we thank the entire staff, everyone who's touched this new PTV ordinance that we're bringing forward to the community. I appreciate that. So now I'll go on to other business. I do have a couple of things I wanted to, again, thank staff and the elected officials for our State of the City address that was presented last night, sponsored by the Chamber as well as Google and other sponsors. Thank you all so much for taking time out, especially the people in this room, the elected officials and the staff, because you've already heard the State of the City. You heard it before. So thank you for coming again for a repeat performance. I really appreciate that. I appreciate the support. It helps me to feel more comfortable. I'm the person with the microphone, but it's our entire State of the City. It's not me, it's everyone that makes up the city of Douglasville. So thank you all for that. And then I do have a card I wanted to read from Bill Hembry's family. He passed away a couple of weeks ago. He lost his battle with cancer, but he gained his wings in eternity. And he was a former House of Representative. He's over Ways and Means and just really involved in the community for many years. He was over DECA for the entire country. He met 2 presidents and traveled all over the world. So Mr. Hembry's family grew up in this community. It says, Dear Mayor Robinson and members of the Douglasville City Council, thank you so much for the letter of recognition on the passing and for my late husband, Bill Hembry. Our family is honored that you all recognized his service to this wonderful community he so proudly loved. We also appreciate the beautiful flowers that the city of Douglasville sent. Thank you for those who attended the service and the visitations. Sincerely, Beth Hembry and Sons. So if you all want to look at the card, it's from Bill Hembry. So that's all I had. Do we have any other business to come before council tonight from the elected officials? Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Madam Mayor, I just wanted to extend again how proud I am of you and staff. You did phenomenal last night, and I mean, I was just like so giddy just watching you, and always have been. But I think y'all just did incredible. So thank you for showcasing our city well.
Thank you, Councilman Hess. Yes, sir,
And
Councilman
I'll
Watts.
pile in on the compliments here. The staff here at the conference center really put your best foot forward. We looked great last night.
Everyone was excited about the refresh and the food.
Yeah, and the food, everything was great. So.
Yes, sir, Councilman Watts. Anything on the right? Well, thank you all so much. I really appreciate that, and I know staff appreciates it as well. So now we'll move on from other business. That's item number 17 to item 18, updates from our city staff. Our city attorney, Mr. Joel Dotson.
No business, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Staff attorney, Ms. Miranda Jordan.
No business, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
You're welcome. Our police department, our deputy chief, Mr. J.R. Davison.
No business, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Deputy Chief. Our city manager, Ms. Marcia Frazier.
The only thing I have is I received a phone call from Councilmember Caldwell while he's at newly elected. He had inquired about the presentation that we received from Retail Strategies and an interest in moving forward with that. We did receive a proposal back from them. It's within the city manager's signing authority of $50,000 annually. If you all are interested, we can get that process started. We do have funds and studies in community development and engineers budget that we can move forward. I don't know that you all want another education presentation from the group. I think you would rather them work forward and then come back with information. I just wanted to verify if you're interested, we can start that process sooner rather than later. He said he was interested, so just let me know.
Yes, ma'am. And so for the council to refresh our memories, I know we had a lot of information download during our strategic work session, but this is the last presentation that we received about retail and just doing like a strategic plan and looking at all the retail in our community and bringing that information forward, knowing that, which I didn't know, that we still don't, everything is not coming on a truck, to be delivered every day, but we still have retail that is a viable option in the community. So, City Manager, do you want us to just contact you directly, or you just want to have a consensus?
If you all are comfortable now, and head nods are okay. I just didn't want to move forward with him. And then, so what would follow up with, once the agreement is verified by legal and is executed by the City Manager's office, will take a couple months for them to do their data collection and come in with specific things related to what you all are interested in. So I would say, late spring, early summer, when we come back with some information. And our plan would be, through the balance of their agreement, to have at least meetings with you all twice a year, so that those concerns and different things that you all are interested in, we're making certain that we're holding them to what it is that you're interested in.
Okay. Yes, it does. Thank you, City Manager. We'll move on then, if we don't have anything else on from item 18 is 19, comments from citizens and delegates. If you sustain the meeting and you'd like to speak to us, please come forward and give us your name and address for the record, and you have 5 minutes to talk to us about any business germane to the city of Douglasville. Thank you. I don't see any. If we don't have any other business, then this meeting is adjourned.